If you're watching this alone right now, you need to listen very, very carefully. They lie to you about how it happens. The movies, the TV shows, they show a guy clutching his chest, gasping for air, dropping to his knees. It's dramatic. It makes for good television. But it's a lie. Last November, my heart started dying. I was 82 years old, sitting exactly where I am right now, completely alone. And there was no sledgehammer to the chest. There was no falling down. There was just a whisper. I survived a massive widowmaker heart attack that night. But it wasn't the ambulance that saved me, and it sure as hell wasn't the hospital. I survived because of a very specific sequence of 7 things I did in the first 5 minutes. If I had skipped step 4, a simple thing involving a kitchen drawer, or if I had fallen for the cough CPR myth you see all over the internet, I'd be in the ground right now. Time is running out for a lot of you. You're eating the seed oils, you're living the modern lifestyle, and your arteries are ticking clocks. Today I'm going to tell you exactly how to survive when the clock strikes 0. Because when it happens, nobody is coming to save you. You have to save yourself. Let me tell you how it actually feels. Because the medical industry doesn't give you the nuance. It was a Tuesday. I hadn't been doing yard work. I was just sitting. The first thing I felt wasn't pain. It was dread. A cold, heavy dread in the pit of my stomach. Then came the pressure. It felt like someone had laid a wet 50-pound bag of sand right across my collarbones. Not the left arm, not the center of the chest, right here. And my jaw started to ache, like I'd been grinding my teeth. Now here is the first trap. The first reason people die alone. Your brain, your ego, it wants to deny it. My brain said, "Frank, it's just indigestion. It's that garbage you ate for lunch. Go lie down." If you go lie down, you die. That is the number one mistake. When your heart is failing, laying flat forces your damaged heart to work twice as hard against gravity to pump blood. Fluid builds up in your lungs. You drown in your own bed. So I didn't lie down. I stood up. And my hands, they were sweating. Ice cold sweat. That's your autonomic nervous system panicking. When the panic hits, your first instinct is to call someone you love. You want to hear your wife's voice, or your son's. You want them to come over. Don't be stupid. Comfort is a killer. Your wife can't unclog an artery. I picked up the phone and dialed 911. You do not wait. You don't see if it passes. You make the call. But, and this is vital, calling 911 is just a timer. It's not the solution. Depending on where you live, you have anywhere from 8 to 20 minutes before they arrive. Your heart muscle starts dying in 5. So, what do you do with that time? Excuse me. While the phone was ringing, I did something that saved the paramedics from having to break down my front door. If you live alone and you pass out, the EMTs waste 3 to 5 minutes getting axes or rams to bust through your deadbolts. 3 minutes is the difference between brain damage and full recovery. I dragged myself, literally dragged my hand along the wall to the front door. I unbolted it, I cracked it open, and then I sat down in the recliner right next to the door. I didn't pack a hospital bag. I didn't go find clean underwear. I sat down. Every single step you take burns oxygen. Oxygen your heart does not have. You have to become completely useless. You have to become a statue. But before I sat down, I made a stop at the kitchen drawer. This is the part your doctor should tell you at every checkup, but they don't. I grabbed a bottle of standard, uncoated, 325 milligram aspirin. Not ibuprofen, not Tylenol, aspirin. I took one out, and I did not swallow it. Think about it. If you swallow a pill, it has to go into your stomach, get broken down by acid, enter the intestines, and then get processed into your bloodstream. By the time that happens, your heart attack has already won. You chew it. It tastes awful. It tastes like bitter chalk and chemicals. But you chew it to a paste, and you keep it under your tongue. It absorbs directly through the mucosal lining of your mouth and straight into the bloodstream in seconds. A heart attack is a plumbing problem. It's a clot. Your blood cells are getting sticky, clumping together, shutting off the pipe. Chewing that aspirin instantly coats those platelets. It stops them from sticking. It freezes the clot exactly where it is. My cardiologist told me later that chewing that one pill bought me an extra 12 minutes. It literally paused the dying process. So now I'm sitting in the chair. The door is open. The bitter taste is in my mouth. The dispatcher is on speakerphone. This is the hardest part, the waiting. You've probably seen these viral posts on Facebook or whatever, telling you to do cough CPR. They say if you're alone, you should cough repeatedly and violently to keep your heart beating. Do not do that. It is a deadly internet myth. Violent coughing spikes your blood pressure and puts massive sudden strain on a heart that is already suffocating. What you actually need to do is fight your own brain. Your brain is dumping adrenaline. It's screaming at you that you are dying. If you listen to it, your heart rate shoots up and the heart tears itself apart. I close my eyes and I use tactical breathing. I breathed in through my nose for 4 seconds. I held it, and I breathed out through my mouth for 6 seconds. I treated it like a job. I ignored the elephant sitting on my chest. I ignored the cold sweat. I just counted. 4 in, 6 out. I forced my nervous system to shut off the panic. I dropped my heart rate down to an idle. 14 minutes later, they walked through my open door. I was gray. I was drenched in sweat, but I was conscious. They rushed me in, put a stent in my LAD, the widowmaker artery. And the next morning I was sitting up, eating terrible hospital jello. I'm telling you this because the modern world has made us soft. We rely on apps and doctors and emergency rooms to fix us. But in the most critical moment of your life, you are the only responder that matters. Get a bottle of uncoated aspirin. Put it on your nightstand. Put one in your glove box. Learn the difference between indigestion and a whisper of dread. And stop lying to yourself. Time is short. It's the 11th hour. Wake up.